comic book fans. This is your host, Travis Collins, aka Duck Punch, and I'm back for another episode of Duck Punch Comics. Yes, I know I am excruciatingly late, as in like 2 days after I should have done this video, but sorry, just things came up. But I am here to review books that came out last week. We've got some really interesting ones this week. Another short pull, though. 8 books, 4 Marvel, 4 DC. Some really good ones, and a couple of really weird ones. So let's get straight to our reviews. Up first tonight, Batgirl number 20. God bless you, Brian Q. Miller, for writing one of the most awesome issues of any Bat book in a really long time. The conclusion of the fight with Slipstream comes in this issue, and as always, it's both awesome and hilarious and touching in the best tradition of your favorite Saturday morning cartoons, only with a great sense of self-aware tongue-in-cheekness that is far too rare amongst mainstream comics. I say it, and I say it, and I say it. Batgirl and Detective Comics are tied for the best of the Bat books. If you're a fan of the Bat family, and you're not reading this, you fail. End of story. Speaking of Bat books, Batman and Robin, number 22. Peter Tomasi is finishing his story about the White Knight, and it definitely takes a turn for the kooky here, which is to be expected with this title. On the whole, this wasn't a bad issue. And it was an interesting take on the whole evil vigilante cliche. This book still is just sort of kind of hanging in there for me. I could honestly take it or leave it at this point. It's not bad. It's just sort of, okay. Next, Birds of Prey number 11. Now, when Gail Simone is writing a comic, you know that at some point her pride and joy, the Secret Six, are going to have to make an appearance, and here we have a special guest with Catman, and I guess for lack of a better, Deadshot for all of 2 panels, but whatever. This was a standalone story, and honestly, I wasn't terribly impressed with it. It was by no means bad, but it was just so overdone emotionally. By the end of it, all the emotional just stuff going on just became so much white noise. It just diluted whatever was trying to be done. It was an honest attempt, but not entirely up to snuff. Next, Journey into Mystery, number 622. Now, I almost didn't get this. I really wanted not to get this comic. But I'd heard so many people at the outhouse, a random plug of doom, say how great it was that I had to give it a try. And as much as I'm a fan of, or not a fan of Matt Fraction right now, I gotta admit, this wasn't bad. This book could easily be subtitled The Adventures of Kid Loki, complete with music from the Little Rascals. It was a lot of fun to read, and even though I'm doing my damnedest to not read any of the Fear Itself tie-ins, I'll be getting this again. It was just too much freaking fun. Next up, Justice League, Generation Lost, maybe I can get the title right at some point, number 23. You know, of the 2 big series to come out of Brightest Day, many, including myself, have always felt like Generation Lost has been the best, especially considering how bad Brightest Day number 23 was. So to read this issue and how, frankly, cheap it cops out on the final big obstacle for our team to deal with, I gotta say that I was really let down. Essentially, now, spoiler alert, if you don't want the spoilers, go ahead and skip ahead. But here we go. Essentially, Max Lord's big ace in the hole, his big plan, is a really super big OMAC. That's right, there's your spoiler. Max Lord makes another OMAC. Haven't we seen this before? Oh, right. About 100 times before in this same series. Granted, that's like getting upset at anyone in Marvel with the last name Trask not making a Sentinel, but still, it was just kind of a letdown. I had better expectations of this. Next up, Secret 6, number 26. Or, Secret 6. Secret Warriors. Might help if I actually got the title right. I'm out of it tonight. Secret Warriors, number 26. This is either really, really awesome or really, really, really lame. Seriously, the big reveal of this issue could go either way. I honestly have to keep reading. I have to read this again about a dozen more times to wrap my mind around what actually happens. I can't even spoil this for you. Sorry, but you have to read this one. But I will say this. Again, depending on how the next two issues, the last two issues, go, this will either be one of the best twists in comic books in a really long time, or we will have borne witness to the moment that Jonathan Hickman's career officially jumped the shark. It's one or the other. That's how big this is. Next up, Uncanny X-Force number 7. Now, I have long been a Rick Remender fan, and part of the reason is because every time you think you have his style figured out, he throws some completely random curveball at you, and you have to refigure out his entire scheme. Take this book. Is it a Black Ops Wetworks book? Why, yes it is. Is it a trippy time travel book? Si, senor. Is it a Mind Screw Question Reality book? Yeah, it's that too. And the end of this issue. Holy crap. I mean, that can't be good. But it is. And it will be awesome. Last up, Uncanny X-Men number 535. And lo, did the X-Men cease to be sucky. Alright, this is the first, technically his first issue was 534.1, but this is Kieran Gillen's first honest-to-God issue. And it's also the start of his story about the return to Breakworld, which if you read Joss Whedon's Astonishing X-Men run, you know all about. And you can tell very much that Kieran Gillen is trying to channel as much of Joss Whedon as humanly possible, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. He also still writes the best Namor ever. Now, admittedly biased in favor of the writer, not gonna hide that. I thought this was a good starting issue, but I am gonna say I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna try and be objective here, see where it goes. Because there's enough here that he could foul this up. I don't think he will, but it could happen. So there you go, guys. 8 comics that came out last week. Pick of the week, Batgirl number 20. Just awesome. I mean, anytime you can say, with a straight face, electromagnetic gooperangs, and it makes sense, you have a win. The worst book of the week, I gotta give it to Generation Lost. It was just such a letdown. Ooh. Alright, guys, you know the drill. As always, please leave comments. Let me know what you thought, and I will see you guys soon. Have a nice night.